Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his best friend and his girlfriend have been seeing each other behind his back. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I've had this friend of mine named Alex that I've known since elementary school. We have always been pretty close, ever since we met, and it was always just one of those things where we've had each other's back and helped each other whenever the other guy needed it. Our families are really close too. I think our parents were friends of each other before we were born. I've basically known them as part of an extended family since I was a kid. Anything happens in one family, the other side hears about it sort of thing. Alex and I went through elementary, middle, and high school together, but once we hit our college, Alex moved out of the state in order to fulfill a new job that he had. We kept in contact all the time, so it was no big deal, but I hadn't seen him for like 5 years at this point. Alex has always been the outgoing type, so as we got older, he was the one who was helping me get introduced to girls. I was pretty bad at it. That's how I ended up meeting Emma. I don't know how Emma and Alex met, but he introduced me to her during a graduation party when we were first getting out of high school. We started off as friends, but I always really liked her. I told Alex one day about how I felt about Emma, and he encouraged me to chase after her, even telling me some things I should say. So I did, and after a couple of tries, I convinced her to go out with me. We hit it off and started dating. Being with Emma was great. I felt like we were super compatible. Same sense of humor, same taste in music, same dislike of the same foods, you name it. We met each other's families, and both sides loved us. We congregated our friend group into one big one. I really felt like we were meant to be together. When my dad passed away, I started thinking about my future and building a life together with her. I started snooping around and feeling out if she might be ready to marry me. Around this time, Alex told me he was moving back to our state. I thought, great, I can have him as my best man. I told Alex about my plans when he got back and got resituated. I thought it was weird at the time, but he didn't really seem happy for me, like he was more surprised than anything else. I didn't say anything then, but I know now I should have paid more attention to that. A little bit after, I started noticing Emma acting strange. Usually every couple days we would have a little date night where we just had dinner together and talked. Emma started missing them. Sometimes she'd tell me that she had something going on and couldn't make it. Other times she wouldn't even give me an excuse. She would just tell me she forgot or she couldn't make it. I started telling all this stuff to Alex and he just kept giving me these non-answers about what I should do or what I should say to her. I don't even think he was really listening. I tried to talk to Emma about this too, but I felt like I was being made the bad guy in that situation. She just sort of laid it out on me for having bad timing, even though it was pretty consistent with what we had been doing before. I started to have some suspicions about what was really going on a few months after Alex came back and all of this started happening. I started to notice that when Emma couldn't make it to one of our date nights, I would message Alex and he would also be busy. Very consistently. So what I would do is I would make plans with both of them at random days at the same time. Sure enough, anytime one of them canceled, the other also did. By then, I was sure something was going on, so the last time I went to Emma's place, I took an old phone that I had from when I switched over. I set it to record audio, and I placed it underneath her bed. Sure enough, when I got the phone back, there was a recording of the two of them doing it behind my back. Not only that, they spent a good amount of time talking shit about me, and talking about how I was too stupid to figure it out. It was like listening to two completely different people. These were two of the closest people I had in my life, and they both thought so little of me that it crushed my heart. I couldn't help but think that it was some sick joke from the start when Alex introduced me to her. I got both of them in a room with me and just played the audio on the phone. I didn't wait for an explanation, just told them they were both horrible people and I would never talk to them ever again. From there, I told some of our mutual friends and my folks that I wouldn't be seeing either of them anymore. Both of them have tried to contact me since then, but I haven't responded. I don't really know what to do now, to be honest. Update. Little update on this. Things started getting a lot more dramatic than I was expecting. We live in a small town, so people started hearing about what happened between the three of us. Alex's parents called me and basically apologized for the actions of their son. Told me all about how they didn't raise him that way and how none of that should have happened. Emma's dad got into contact with me too, and he wanted to hear my side of the story. I told him everything, down to the last detail. I even included the part about how I was thinking of asking her to marry me. He told me he was sorry for me and that if I ever needed anything, to ask him. I was in a really bad place after all that happened that I didn't really notice, but I hadn't interacted with either of them for weeks. I didn't see them around, and they weren't with any of our mutual friends. I found out later that was because pretty much everyone I knew that also knew them had iced the two of them out. Our friends had completely cut them out and didn't see them anymore. Neither of their families wanted anything to do with them after what happened. Apparently Emma's dad was especially angry with her and basically kicked her out of his will. I don't really know what happened to the two of them at this point. Nobody has heard anything from them after everything came crashing down. They could probably both move out of here, and I don't think anyone would bat an eye from what it sounds like. I can't say I'm happy about all of this, but I do feel better that people took my side, and that they got what was coming to them. I'm glad everyone has your back, OP. Your ex-best friend and girlfriend got what they deserved. They can now enjoy their stupid forbidden love all by themselves, away from everyone they care about. What they did to you was wrong. If they liked each other, then I don't understand why Alex would match you up with her. They could have handled this way better, but instead, they decided to meet up behind your back and call you stupid for trusting them. You deserve better than the two of them, and I'm sure you'll find better. Take care, OP. Story 2. I know this is a wall of text, and I apologize beforehand. I'm having a big problem here, and I need some advice. I hope I make sense, as my head is spinning right now. Me, 32 male, and my wife, 29, let's call her Tara, have 15 years of history between us and have been married for over 11 years. We fell in love instantly. She is really deep down a very good person. My cousin, 31 male, let's call him Ned, is the one who set us up when we were kids. We met through him. In fact, we all got married in the same year and were very close. I considered Ned to be like a brother to me, that is until last year. Ned and his SO, let's call her Cindy, started off great but have had a rocky relationship for a long time now. Everyone knows that. They put on a good show for everyone though, pretending they're happy. I found out that Ned has been hitting on my wife for the past year or so and tried kissing my wife at a big family gathering. She said that it did not mean anything to her after I caught her on the phone telling a mutual friend about it. You know Ned, he's always flirty when he drinks, is what she said. She said she was nowhere near interested and that he's not attractive and that she loves me. I believed her, as I have all the trust in the world in her. She told me to just forget it. Well, another gathering comes up with some friends and I catch him trying to kiss her and hold her again. I was right in back of them at the time and they didn't know it. I got violent but calmed myself down. Anyway, after the party he's completely drunk and is unable to drive home. He had his kid with him and his wife. He told me that we have to take them home. So I did, not wanting him to kill his family or someone else on the road. I told my wife Tara that this had to stop and I was going to confront him. She agreed, but instead told Ned's brother because she was afraid that I was going to beat him up. So he told his brother and he agreed that he's been drinking a lot lately and that he would stop. Flash forward to early December 2014. Awkwardness starts to settle in between us and all of our friends. These people I've been close with since I was a child suddenly have nothing to do with me. Tara suspects it too, but comes off as if she knows what is going on. None of her friends are talking to her. The only person talking to me is Ned's brother. Tara finally admits that there was a problem with Cindy over the phone. She confronted Ned about his feelings for my wife and he confessed. Cindy blames Tara and the two of them had it out. Cindy told everyone that my wife is to blame and that's why everyone's so distant from us and treating us differently. This all makes no sense to me as Tara's a fighter when she's not wrong. If this is the truth, then she should be fighting back. I ask her a million questions and she answers them. She slips up and tells me that Ned has been texting her and that's how Cindy found out. Cindy looked at Ned's phone and then started acting as Ned to Tara and trapping her with questions to make it look like Tara was the wrong one. My blood pressure skyrockets and I start to get really mad. My cousin, my brother, Ned, after all the warnings, was still trying to have an affair with my wife. I disappear. I vanished for 5 hours. I go to the gym. I go to the bookstore. I try to keep calm so I do not go and beat him up. The family's very close. If this gets out, then my family will never talk to him again. I drove home. I go to sleep with her reassuring me that Ned and Cindy are the wrong ones, that they trapped her with texts. I trust her. She loves me. They are wrong. I keep repeating to myself. 2 days pass. It makes no sense in my mind. Tara also deleted the text messages because she didn't want to look at them. Why would she just lay down and take this shit? Why won't she not let me go and fight with him? Why is she always asking where I'm going and telling me to avoid Ned and Cindy? Then, I read a text on her iPad from a mutual friend from before, asking her, does he know everything? To which Tara replies, no. My heart sinks. What can they be talking about? What more can there possibly be? I wait until I get back from work. I confronted her about the text. She denies any wrongdoing, sticking to her story. I'm furious. She tells me I'm crazy. I tell her that even though she deleted the text, that you can still recover them on the computer with software and to just tell me the truth. She gets a scared look in her eye. I got my confession. She was the one who started it. She was the one who was texting him. She liked the attention. She waited for me to fall asleep at 2 a.m. so she could talk to him. When he started showing no interest, it drove her crazy, and she had to know why he stopped if he liked her so much. She admitted she's a hoe, those are her words not mine, and likes men's attention. She wants other men to want her. Cindy found Ned texting her and took his phone and pretended to be him to Tara. Cindy and Tara had it out. This is why Tara's just taking all this crap, because she's the wrong one. She made me mad at these other people. She tells me that Ned has touched her. He grabbed the inside of her leg that night that I drove him drunk. She's too afraid to tell me that she liked it. I don't know what to do. She tells me she's sorry, and at the time she was going insane and was not herself at the time. She says she wasn't looking to have an affair, but to just see why he liked her. I feel like I'll never know the truth. I think she has had affairs, or at least text virtual ones. I never thought she was capable of all this. I found this all out yesterday, and I have no one to talk to. Please help me figure out what to do. My mind says to leave her, but my heart says to stick it out. OP, first of all, calm down. Don't take any violent action. That might compromise you anyway. When you're calm, decide what you want to do. If you want to end your marriage over this, you have the right to do so. You should not feel guilty about it because of the kids. If you want to give your marriage another chance, then get some counseling ASAP. Path to forgiveness is long and difficult. Take the reconciliation part, only if your wife shows great remorse. Whatever happens, I'll advise you to stay no contact with Ned and his wife. Now for some comments. You should buy a one-way ticket out of this marriage and do not look back. Furthermore, I'm sure you're a good guy. Your wife didn't cheat because you're inadequate, she cheated because she's a shitty person. Dating at your age will be relatively easy once you're able to move on from your marriage. Keep your head up and go to a divorce lawyer as soon as you can. You should be hurt, but always remind yourself that you did nothing to hurt yourself and that all of these feelings that you're having is because your wife decided to cheat on you. I sense that you fear the unknown more than anything else. This is normal. What you need to be fearing in reality is finding a way to give your children as normal a life as possible. And at this time, it's not going to happen with your wife and her now ex-boyfriend. Honestly, I would stop talking to your cousin. Never invite him to anything ever again. With family members that are willing to participate in infidelity with your wife, who needs enemies? Your wife and you need to go to marital counseling ASAP. If it's not your cousin, it'll be someone else. You need to figure out what's going on with her. Infidelity's not okay, but 15 years of marriage is worth at least counseling. She shouldn't have hidden anything from you. She shouldn't have been talking to him. That's called emotional infidelity even if she didn't sleep with him, which you may never know for sure if she did or didn't. Marital counseling is absolutely necessary. If she's not willing, then divorce is a guarantee.